Checking memory stick. Konami. This all looks pretty familiar. What could this be? Could it be an entire second game? A secondary release of Portable Ops? Known as Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops Plus. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, and here's that high-quality render of Snake in the sneaking suit I mentioned before. So what is Portable Ops Plus? It's basically an expansion pack on the original game. It features several new things, including different weapons here. You can see there's a FAMAS, a SOCOM. There's even a stun knife. A whole lot of stuff in the background that's different from the first game. There's many, many additional playable characters. However, something that's a little odd is there's no story mode. So what is there? Well, let's load our game. And hey, this is a hacked save file that I downloaded. Be careful if you download this save file. There's some very crudely named characters. Make sure you take care of that before you stream. So you can see we just start out here with easy, normal, hard, and extreme. Well, what is this? Well, this is our mission, right? We don't get a storyline in this game at all. Instead, we get what's known as Infinity Mission. And we're going to use Team Echo. And the reason I wanted to get this save file in particular is because, I mean, for one, you can see my stats are all bullcrap, but that's not the reason. It's because it names each of the characters rather than giving them animal code names. You can just see, oh, okay, I've got a Seal, I've got a Gurlukovich, etc. So I figured that would be the easiest way to show off some of the characters. So we're going to do a little run through easy. And you can see we are indeed a Gurlukovich soldier straight out of Metal Gear Solid 2. Apparently our codename is Rabbit. Everything's pretty much the same as Portable Ops, except every little round of this Infinity mode is OSP. So you always start with nothing unless your character has a red weapon. We have all of Big Boss's moves and animations. And easy always starts on the hospital. So you can just collect some rations and med kits and such. So the Infinity Mission is a bit of a randomizer mode. I guess this game is a bit roguelike? Easy, like I said, always starts in the hospital. But the higher difficulties can be all sorts of nonsense. All sorts of crazy stuff. Now, since this is a hacked save file with bullcrap stats, I'm not going to have to worry too much about filling up on rations and healing items. Alright. The exit to this stage is usually either back there, or sometimes it's up top here. Yes, it's up top of here. So we'll just run to the end. Stage 2. Here's where it starts to randomize things, and you can see there's one of the Fox soldiers. And we're indeed at the airport. So let's member change. Oh, no place to hide here. Can't go in there. Can I? I can member change. All right. And we're going to use a Navy SEAL, also straight out of Metal Gear Solid 2. You remember these guys. This was the guy that said, "A dud!" And much like the original game, you know, if we see this boy, we want this boy.
Who's that?
We slam him. And we can pick him up and drag him to our... I almost said Jeep, and I almost said bus. It's neither a Jeep nor a bus. It's a van. We could drag him to our van, but if there's a... No. Well, we'll get the med kit. If there's a cardboard box nearby... Oh, okay. It's over here. It's a little bit past the truck, but it's worth showing off. If there's a cardboard box nearby... You remember in the original game, the vanilla, the base game? It's hard to say because, again, these were two separate UMDs. This was not DLC or an update or anything. This was a second physical game that came out about like a year later that you had to go buy again. I don't remember if it was reduced price, but anyway, the original game, the original Portable Ops, we drag a man near a box. Oh, a secret document. And we could use the codec to do prisoner evacuation. But there's a faster way to do it here. Yep. We just give our buddy a little shake, and we can capture a dude. One dude per box, so you gotta be thrifty with it. Oh, and look. The goal's right here. So we'll just get it and move on. Easy mode has 3 stages. We can also use this to go back to the prior stage. Oh, and look, I can see the goal is up there, so that's nice. We can go back to the prior stage if there's guys or items that you want to get. That's something you couldn't do in the original game. When you were in an area, you were stuck in that area. I played this game quite a bit. It really was good for just giving me like a little Metal Gear fix. And it's pretty fun, the idea of having a Metal Gear randomizer in an official capacity. Something that only very recently has started to be a thing with mods. Stage 4? We're gonna member change again. Oh, no, not yet. Must we be over here? There we go. Member change to high-tech soldier. This is another enemy type that was in MGS2. They're a very rare enemy type. So a lot of players don't actually know that this exists. And I actually didn't encounter any of these guys in my playthrough. They're a little difficult to spawn in. They're only in the Shell 1 area prior to fighting Solidus in the Harrier, obviously. They can only show up at very, very specific times, but they're meant to be, I believe, the president's personal bodyguards. They are the only enemies in the base game of Metal Gear Solid 2 to speak in an American accent. And yeah, you can play as them here. Now, if there were a handgun in this area, you would see that this model in this particular game has a bit of an issue in that my big poofy sleeves will obscure part of the screen in first person. So if you want to use one of these soldiers, just be aware of that. Can't open that because there's no key. But yeah, very obscure enemy to include. But I like their outfit. I like their gear. Let's, of course, change to our final member here.
Huh? What the?
An Arsenal Tengu.
Huh?
And you can see we do have a red weapon. We have the Ninja Blade.
Huh? What the?
Every Tengu you recruit will come with a Ninja Blade that cannot be unequipped, as well as a P90. And honestly, they're just so rad. This was a lot of what I would do when I would play this game back in the day, is going with a squad of Tengu.
What was that?
Because that sword's not just for show.
Huh? What happened? Who's that?
Now, we can't block bullets, but you can see it's very strong. No, I want the med kits. There we go. The Tengu's definitely, at least in my eyes, the coolest. I think he also has a different... Yes, he's got the sword punch kick from MGS2. So that's the only way to have a character not do that animation. Anyway, let's just beat this stage and make our way to the 5th and final stage of easy mode. But again, this game's pretty neat. I kind of wish that these ideas had made their way... That looks like the Taco Bell logo. I wish these ideas had made their way into later games. Yep, one Tengu comes out. He's very easy to deal with. Later games with recruiting and such. Mission complete. I wish there was a way to get gear from prior games, because it's really, really cool. Night Owl. Cannot recruit any more comrades. Well, Llama, we're gonna let you go. We only caught him for demonstrative purposes anyway. So if I look at my crew here, you can see some of the soldiers that they added. In the American version, there is a special camo soldier for each state. All 50 states have their own camo. Yeah. It's kind of absurd. Other regions have less, of course. You can see we've got Genome Soldiers from MGS1. And you can get a special item called Heart of Justice that awakens the fighting spirit within them. And depending on their stats and things, they'll become a different color. Again, if this save file has one of each color, just nice and labeled for us. But very cool to see the Arctic Weather Genome Soldiers again. Female Ocelot unit members. I always liked Ocelot C. Love a girl with glasses. USSR female soldiers. They come in two main variants. One's without the shirt, the upper shirt, and one's with an upper shirt. Seal, Tengu, High-Tech Soldier, Gurlukovich, Gru soldiers from MGS3. We saw a lot of these guys. We also saw some KGB soldiers in MGS3. Male Ocelot unit, High Official. We remember this guy. High Officers. Believe it or not, there are some variations of them. Same with the maintenance crew members. Female Scientists. We saw those in Portable Ops. Male Scientists. Female Officers. We got plenty of those. Fox Boys. USSR. And then several just hacked weird soldiers. So we're going to do one more run through Infinity Mission on normal, and we're going to use Delta Team. Why are we using Delta Team? Because, would you believe that the first appearance of Old Snake in a video game is actually Portable Ops Plus? Would you believe such a thing? Yeah, it's true. This is your first time being able to play as MGS4 Snake. So technically, if someone goes, hey, what game is Old Snake from? I mean, you could say Portable Ops Plus. You might notice he's got his own fighting stance here. This is a pose we'll be seeing in MGS4. He's also got slightly different voice clips from Naked Snake. This is one of those things that didn't really help people's confusion on which Snake is which, because we've got Solid Snake, you know, Big Boss's son, as an old man in the same game with a young Big Boss. It was... people were very confused. Oh! Well, let's shake this man down. Grenades. Secret dock. The secret dock just tells you where the goal is. But you probably saw that it was just over here. So let's just go. Now, unfortunately, we have the Octocamo suit in visuals only. He doesn't get special camouflage abilities or anything like that. You can see he uses all the MGS3 animations, such as pressing his back against the wall. This will be important in the future.
Who's that?
We're just gonna slam this dude.
The enemy's here.
Yep. He doesn't have any special abilities, but he does come with a special weapon that we'll take a look at in a little bit. This stage I don't think we explored much in the base game.
Freeze.
But you can see there's a bit of a cave system here, a bit of like a weird dungeon that leads back up to that little lookout area. There's also a jail cell. And this little secret alcove. And oh look, it's Zero. Yeah, he's here. So you can find special characters out in the world, captured. Now, I already have Zero. So that normally shouldn't happen, but again, it's an edited save file. But nice that that showed up to demonstrate. Yeah, if you didn't recruit all the bosses or the special characters from the first game, you can still acquire them in this game. There's just a bit of randomness to it, I believe. Oh, wrong button. That's what oops. Snake, I know you're getting old, but come on. Let's see. I can see on the radar, it's telling me... Oh, it's right here. Stage 3. This has 10 stages? Ah! And here's one of the randomized elements. You're on high alert the entire time and simply need to escape to the goal. I think... then this is one of those stages where you might want to come back, because you can see there's healing items down there. What kind of enemies do we have? We've got some officers. So if I believe it's in here? Yes. I complete the special mission. But let's say you want to go back and get some of the... Oh. Yep. We could withdraw if we want to. We're not going to. We're just going to go back to the mission. We can save. Those are like intermission points. So if you, again, are on the bus or you're done on the toilet and you want to save and return to this little round later, you can do that. So yes, the return point. I believe this will take us to the prior stage without the alert phase in effect. So if you... Yep! So if you come here, and it's like, oh no, it's an alert, but I want more of those officers, you could just beat it and come back. Again, this is a really neat idea. I wish this was just part of Portable Ops. I wish it was just a different mode. I would love to see Portable Ops and Portable Ops Plus combined into one game. So I could, say, use Old Snake in the story missions. But, you know, a man can dream. Alright, now we're going to change our character to... That's right! Also straight out of MGS2, it's Raiden. Now, Raiden, he comes with his high-frequency blade. He takes the same stance he took in MGS2. Can't flip it over or anything, but you can see he does this animation. He has a slightly different sword slash from the Tengu. And Raiden in the Tengu as well can still stab with the sword. But the thing that's really funny about Raiden, other than the fact that his textures are actually better than MGS2, and his face, like, he just looks better than MGS2 in this game. Whoops. Is, yeah. He rolls and he does the low kick. He does MGS3 animations. It's a little odd. I would have liked if they gave him special animations all around, but alas. Which again, this starts... Or I guess it starts it in being a tradition, but this is the second time now we've had a Snake game after MGS2 where you can play as Raiden. Because you remember, MGS3 had the mask. Not Jim Carrey's The Mask. But it had the Rykov or Raiden mask. And you could play the whole game with that. Well, now we've got another Snake game where you can also play as Raiden in some form. Again, I would love if they combined Portable Ops and Plus into one game so I could play through the story missions with these characters. Because, yeah, I think Raiden in particular looks really cool. It's kind of a shame that we have old Snake, but not like MGS1 or 2 Snake. This is the closest we've come to that, the idea that I float around a lot, which is a Metal Gear Dream Match game. With all the various different snakes and sneaking suits and locales. So for that reason, I do quite like it. I wish, you know, future, at this point, in the release timeline, future Big Boss games, I wish would have done this. Survive until time runs out. This is another very interesting mission. It's, again, we're on high alert. And nothing's gonna happen. There's no goal I can get to. Dudes are just gonna come after me. Nothing's gonna happen in the stage until the timer is satisfied, in which case a goal point will appear. So some places like this stage, this is a good one to demonstrate it. You can just find a hiding spot. They know where I am, but they can't really get me. You can see this man has a shield. We'll slam him. Again, yeah, Raiden just doing this standard CQC slam rather than his weird flip. It's a little odd seeing even things like this. He's got Snake's stance here. It's funny seeing Raiden with Snake animations. Oh, look at that guy. Look at this agile scientist. Advance point has appeared. What? No. Get out of here, nerd. Yeah, so the alert phase stays up. So now we've got to search for the goal point, which is probably inside this building. It's the one place you don't want it to be because it's a little tricky to find. Oh. Nope, not here. Is it here? Nope, not here. Very difficult to keep track of this room, this building. Because the camera's not the best at it. Okay, I can see on my radar the direction it wants me to go in. There's a little spike, a little pip up there. Maybe not up there, maybe down. Aha, down and around. Bring it around town. Yep, there it is. Continue the mission. Stage 6. Alright, next. No place to hide. Ah, yes, this stage. I like this stage. A dog jump scared me before. Oh yeah, look, you can roll into your little buddies and they get the little exclamation point. It's cute. Let's see. There should be a hiding spot here, I think. No!
What's that? What?
Don't worry about what that is. There we go. Member change to Roy Campbell. Yes, finally, after all these years, we've been waiting since Metal Gear 2 on the MSX. Finally, you can play as Roy Campbell. If that's something you want. I believe you get Campbell for beating the Infinity missions on hard? I don't believe it's extreme. But yeah, he, as far as I know, doesn't have anything particularly special about him other than he looks pretty cool. He looks like a cool guy. Neutralize all enemies. If the enemy sees you, they'll call for backup. So this can be a little frustrating, this type of mission. Because, yeah, you have to take everyone out. And if they see you, more dudes will spawn in. And that can be a lot to deal with. So we have to be a sneaky Roy. And we have to watch our radar to make sure we know where the dudes are. So that's a square. And that square means he's basically on our elevation level. Yep, he's over here. He's a fox boy. We'll just knock him out.
Huh?
Oh? Looks like there's another fox boy in there. That's not too bad. He's going to notice his buddy.
What happened?
Whoop. No. Oh no, don't call for backup. Don't. There we go. There we go. We're fine. He didn't call for backup. We completed this special mission. We bungled it a little bit, but that just seems like the Roy Campbell way. Advance point has appeared, and I'm gonna take a stab and say it's probably on the top of the boat. Yep, here it is. And we've reached another intermission, but we're good. Stage 8 out of 10. We're almost done. We're going to member change to this hacked character, which I've named...
Who's that?
Oh!
The enemy's here.
Which I've named Blade Tengu. All 4 of their item spots are taken up by blades. So we've got 2 copies, for some reason, of the Tengu's typical ninja blade. We've also got the machete, but if you notice, it's invisible. Little strange. Don't know what's up with that. But we've also got Jean's Infinity Bowie knife. It is not invisible. Unfortunately, you can't freely equip the special weapons. I really wish you could. Because it would be fun to be... I mean, look, I'm a ninja. I'm throwing knives at a guy. Look at that. I've got a short blade. I mean, it's an invisible blade, but... Short blade, I got my long blade.
What was that?
Gonna do ninja stuff. If only I had my smoke grenades. So, the goal could be in one of 2 places.
Who's that?
One of which is right out here. Yep. Excellent. Might have also heard the Karotan noise. That is... That, I believe, just signifies a special weapon is somewhere in the area. I don't remember exactly what it means. No place to hide.
The enemy's here.
The enemy's here.
It's the enemy.
Yep.
Yeah.
What if I use my ninja blade? So I think if you're in alert, you can't change your character, yes. But as soon as you're in evasion, you can. So we'll switch back to Old Snake. Oh, look at that. That man just ran by. Ow.
Doc.
Human shield. Human shield. Yeah. Well. Can't believe he would knife his buddy like that. Let's run to the end. Neutralize all enemies. You know what that means. It's Tengu time. It's Taco Bell Tengu time. Oh, and look, we're back at the prison area, the first stage of the game. Isn't that appropriate? We're going to end it in the place it all began. Oh! No Tengu this time. Just regular dudes, even. Truly, this is the circle of life. Hello. Oh, there's a Tengu. Hey, I remember you buddies. From Arsenal Gear. Good times. Maybe good times? And we did it. So yeah, that's Portable Ops Plus. It's a lot of that. I thought the game was quite fun, but again, as you well know, I quite like the gameplay of Metal Gear, particularly 3's gameplay style. So, yeah, cool game, cool game. I really wish some of the ideas of this, what I'm going to call a game mode, had made their way into later games, but unfortunately, they did not. A new soldier has joined our team. We can't keep him, though. We can't keep you, duck. We cannot keep this duck. This duck is too dirty. We're going to have to throw this duck away.